Welcome back. This is a whole shot series. I'm going to be building this airplane from scratch off of these AMA plans. Get on the AMA website. You can download the plans for free, or at least they had it for a while where you could download them for free. The whole shot was sort of a collaboration between the publisher and then Bob Hunt, and also Federico Sesquim, I think you pronounce it. So with Bob's prodding to AMA and the designer and Bob's help, we came up with where we're at now with a great set of plans and a really fantastic airplane. When I build this airplane, I'll probably go through there and change a few things, not with the design, but maybe the dimensions of the wood, and alter a few things. Where I don't actually alter aerodynamics or moment arms, I might substitute a couple parts of this design out with maybe different pieces of wood or different dimensions. So follow along. Hopefully you'll enjoy this series. I'll try to keep it informative. I'll try to edit out all the dead space to where it's fast paced, packed with a lot of information, and hope you enjoy it. Now I think I'm going to make one more half template for the I-beam. So this will be for foam or a lost foam or some other method. And the next one I'm going to make it to accommodate the strip rib for the I-beam. So I'll come in here, get me another center line. Let's see here. Normally I use a 0.05 zebra pen ballpoint, but this is what I got handy. I think I need to buy more of those ballpoint pens. So anyway, this will get me started here. If you want to cut this stuff without running a saw through it, and you want a perfectly straight line, what I normally do is do the same thing as far as scoring it. So I'm going to separate this to get it off the big sheet here so it's manageable. So let's see if that's going to be enough. So that's good enough. If I would have scored it some more, you wouldn't have got that lid, but at least it's separated for me. So on these templates, it's real important that you have a permanent center line that's scribed in there. The other thing that's important, it allows you to check the symmetry of these templates, is you want to make sure that they're symmetrical. So to do that, this thing comes to a point right on that center line right here. So as you bring the template back, that center line meets right on that sharp knife edge. So what that allows you to do is draw a center line on a piece of paper, match it up with the center line you have here, trace around the template, flip it up, flip it over, and now obviously you can't see your center line, but that doesn't matter since all you're doing is putting that knife edge point back on the center line, and then you're double checking to make sure that it's symmetrical. So what'll happen is it's an error that will double itself. Not only will it repeat itself, but it'll get twice as big. So let's just say this template is too fat right in here. Well, when you flip it, this will be narrower, so you'll see a gap here, and then over here where you drew the line, it'll be underneath the template. So as you flip this template back and forth like this, that's how you get the symmetry. As I put this template up, it matches. Now what happens is when this template is on this plan, you can see where the line is just barely under the edge of this foam template. And that's fine, because what will happen when you cut the wing, you'll get just a microscopic melt away and maybe the sanding bar to clean the fuzz, and you'll be right back down to where you were. And honestly, it's not that critical anyway. The critical part of these templates, whether it's I-beam or foam or any template, is on these wings, symmetry, the top and bottom. So the airfoil on the top will match the airfoil on the bottom. Not only the trailing edge warp can throw you off, but if this leading edge isn't symmetrical and it's uniform throughout your whole wing, you know, it'll put you in a situation where you can't hardly trim the airplane. Draw a center line on a piece of paper. And then I'm going to line this up and point to point. And I try to keep the same angle. I mean, once you establish the angle, maintain it. So you're looking, make sure everything's right, and then you flip this over and you put that point right back on that center line. And what it's showing here is I've got some daylight around this line right here. Over here, I lose the daylight. It looks a little fat here on this side.
And from about here to here, it's a little fat in here because I'm losing my daylight. All this looks good back here. Okay, so each time you sand an airfoil, you got to start over with another line. You do the same thing. You only have to remove half the amount of material you're showing here because it duplicates itself. The air doubles itself. Close enough for modeling. So this is going to be the template for the I-beam. And what I'm going to try to do here is describe these lines where the rib is going to start and end. And the way I laid it out, and you can build it like the plans, but what I've done here is I've laid this template out for a 1/4 inch trailing edge and a 1/4 inch leading edge. So I'm going to come back here, maybe, I don't know, a 1/16 inch or an 1/8, and I'm going to make this template just a little bit longer. The reason being, even though each rib is exactly the same, I was still going to try to trim them all to fit as I go, and that way if I get any disparities in the wood or something, I don't know, it's just an option I wanted. So it's the same as like a foam template. You line up the crosshairs here. See, what are they showing here? They're showing a 1/2 inch. Yeah, they're showing a 1/2 inch leading and trailing edge. So in theory, if you had a 1/2 inch leading and trailing edge at 5 pound density, basically you cut it in half, you could go with 10 pound. So I'm gonna sand this a little bit. You can tell a lot by running your finger over it. This is 320, and I think I'll go to maybe 400 or 600, and that'll be good enough to actually use it to strip the ribs off of it. Now, it's still a little jagged down here, but that doesn't matter. I'm not sure who showed an I-beam template. I'd have to get a lot of these old Pampa magazines, go back and rehash them. There's a lot of good material in those magazines or newsletter. One of the things I think they had in there that showed a template like this, and they had 2 strips of wood like this. So that allowed you to keep it in line. And what you did is just kept sliding this down the strip of wood, you know, and then kept knocking your ribs out of there. So anyway, this will be the template for the I-beam. Plans here, it's showing a landing gear out of music wire. And I think the way this is going to work out, close enough, the wheels, there might be more clearance. You know, obviously it might sit a little higher, but I can compensate for that with where this axle is going. So it's going to be close enough. And if I like this gear and it works out, I think I'll probably go ahead and make one that will match this perfect. But if I fly this thing and build it, I'll be doing it on grass. So, and then the wheel pants are very pleasing shape. I've already got a mold that's almost like that. It might be off just a little bit, but it's so close you'd never notice. So I'll probably go ahead and use the mold I got.